Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a narrative so perfectly woven, honestly you'd swear it was scripted by a Hollywood legend. We're talking mind-bending coincidences, sheer poetry, and this unbelievable destiny that's culminating in the 2026 World Cup final matchup between Argentina and Spain. Seriously, this isn't just a game. It's the absolute climax of decades of intertwining fates involving Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal. But to truly appreciate the dizzying heights of this story, we actually have to start at rock bottom. The year is 2016. Argentina has just lost the Copa América final. For Lionel Messi, this was an agonizing blow. It was his fourth consecutive defeat in a major international final. And in that specific match, he missed a crucial penalty. The weight of an entire nation was sitting right there on his shoulders, and he genuinely felt he'd let his country down. It was a moment of absolute, soul-crushing despair.
In the immediate, heartbroken aftermath of that loss, a devastated Messi completely shocked the globe. He actually announced his retirement from international football, flat out declaring it would be his absolute last game for Argentina. But ask yourself, do you know exactly where he stood when he made that tearful announcement to the world?
He made it at MetLife Stadium in the United States. Just take a second to let that sink in. The exact same venue where he announced his painful retirement will be the exact same stadium where he returns to play the 2026 World Cup final, 10 years later. The stadium where he experienced literally the lowest, darkest point of his entire career is now the stage for him to potentially complete the greatest football story ever told. No way, right?
Okay, let's really dive into this, because no movie writer, no novelist, and absolutely no poet could have ever penned the incredible string of coincidences leading up to this final. Reality is proving to be way more poetic than fiction, and this 2026 World Cup final is the ultimate proof of a script seemingly written by the universe itself.
Chapter 2, the 2007 UNICEF picture. To understand just how deep this rabbit hole goes, we need to rewind a bit to a simple, unassuming charity photograph. The year is 2007. Lionel Messi is just 20 years old. He's a bright talent, sure, but he wasn't the legendary Lionel Messi we all know today. He was participating in a charity bathtub photo shoot organized by Barcelona and UNICEF for International Children's Day.
Now, for this photo shoot, children from all across Catalonia were randomly selected through a lucky draw just to pose with Barcelona players. Out of all the kids, Messi was paired with the youngest participant of the bunch, a tiny baby named Lamine Yamal. By complete random chance, 20-year-old Messi was bathing baby Lamine, which brings us to an astonishing, almost magical number, 19.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer serendipity of this matchup. Think about it. It has been exactly 19 years since that random charity photo shoot. Baby Lamine is now Lamine Yamal, an exact 19-year-old prodigy preparing to play in his very first World Cup final. Not only that, but as Yamal worked his way up through Barcelona's academy, he literally inherited Messi's famous number 19 shirt. You just cannot make this stuff up.
Chapter 3, A Choice. The connections run even deeper when we look back at a critical decision Messi made during his youth. When he was developing his skills at La Masia, the Spanish Football Federation knew exactly how special he was. They aggressively recruited him to represent Spain. In fact, they completed almost all the paperwork. At the time, Argentina barely even knew the kid existed.
See, if Messi had played just one official youth match for Spain, he would have been tied to them forever. But Messi and his family fiercely refused Spain's advances. They wanted to wait for Argentina. When the Argentine Federation finally realized, wait a minute, Spain is about to snatch up this generational talent, they hurriedly organized an under-20 friendly match basically out of nowhere, just so Messi could officially represent them first.
Now, what's truly agonizing is the sheer irony of his choice over the following decade. When you compare their track records during that time, the contrast is wild. Spain went on an absolute tear, completely dominating international football by winning Euro 2008, the 2010 World Cup, and Euro 2012. Meanwhile, Messi endured crushing, heartbreaking defeats with Argentina in the 2007 Copa, the 2014 World Cup, and back-to-back Copas in 2015 and 2016.
It was a brutal period for him. He was actually mocked by fans on both sides of the Atlantic. Argentine fans criticized him for failing to deliver international trophies, while Spanish fans smugly joked that he had simply chosen the wrong country. He was totally caught in the middle of a storm, criticized by the nation he chose and laughed at by the nation he turned down.
Yet through all that heartbreak and criticism, he remained fiercely loyal to Argentina. And now, well, the universe has delivered the ultimate cinematic climax.
He prepares to face Spain, the very nation he rejected all those years ago, in what could very well be his final World Cup match ever.
Chapter 4, Cinco de Copas. Now, if you thought all that was wild, the story takes a wonderfully mystical turn with a Spanish card game played by the Argentine squad right before the 2021 Copa América final. The rules were simple. Players had to guess randomly drawn cards. Everyone in the dressing room tried, and everyone failed. Finally, it was Messi's turn to play.
He guessed incorrectly 9 straight times. You can imagine the tension building in that room. Then, on his 10th attempt, he just randomly called out a specific card, Cinco de Copas, the 5 of Cups. The dealer flipped the card over, and incredibly, it was exactly the 5 of Cups. The dressing room absolutely erupted in celebration.
So, the crucial point here is the unbelievable, kind of eerie symbolism of that moment, something the players actually only realized later, that 2021 Copa América was Messi's 5th international final. The following year, 2022, became his 5th World Cup tournament. And now, if Argentina wins the 2026 World Cup, it would become his 5th major international trophy. Cinco de Copas, striking once again.
Chapter 5, Written in the Stars. And I promise you, the universe wasn't done showing off quite yet. There are incredible statistical coincidences connecting Diego Maradona's legendary triumph with this current World Cup tournament. It genuinely feels like this whole thing is just written in the stars.
Just think about the connections between the two Argentine legends, separated by exactly 40 years. Back in 1986, Maradona lifted the trophy in a World Cup hosted by Mexico, where he notably defeated England 2-1 while contributing decisively to both goals. 40 years later, in 2026, Mexico is hosting once again. And on the road to this final, Messi also defeated England 2-1 while playing a totally decisive role. The parallels are just staggering.
What makes this even more special is that we almost missed this matchup entirely due to the canceled finalissima between Spain and Argentina. But it seems football itself stepped in, saving this legendary clash for a much bigger, grander stage, a World Cup final. It is Messi versus Spain. It's the greatest player of one generation against the absolute brightest talent of the next, the very child he once bathed in a charity photo shoot.
No matter the outcome, the story remains breathtakingly poetic. If Argentina wins, it caps off arguably football's greatest career ever with the most perfect ending imaginable. But if Spain wins, it officially marks the passing of the torch and the beginning of a brand new era with Lamine Yamal.
This matchup really proves a powerful life lesson through the lens of sports. If you stay true to your craft, if you endure the painful setbacks, and if you just keep believing, reality has a remarkable way of bringing everything full circle. From the absolute heartbreak of 2016 at MetLife to redemption in 2026 at the exact same spot.
As we eagerly anticipate the kickoff for this unbelievable 2026 World Cup final, looking back at the coincidences, the history, and the pure serendipity of it all, let the games begin. And I'll leave you to ponder one final question. Is this the most perfectly unwritten narrative in the history of sports?